All right, welcome to week 2 of semester 2. If you're watching this video, it's because you're in my English 11 class and you are gone one day, maybe multiple days during week 2. So this is what we're doing. As you know by now, the rolling block schedule, typically every other week it switches back between a Wednesday being an A day or a B day. So this week is B day for Wednesday. So this activity, my 4th period, you will do next week. So you can ignore it on the slides for now. We're going to be jumping back into our argument and persuasion unit, learning how to write persuasively, how to form an argument, how to analyze other arguments, and we're going to be doing all of our activities this week on paper meaning you won't have Google Slides to turn in, because a lot of the activities that I have for you are very interactive in-class things that we do. So the things that I will have you turn in are going to be on paper. So on the beginning, or the 2 Monday and Tuesday and Thursday and Friday, you will have some time at the beginning of class to do some independent reading with the book that you chose from the library. So make sure you bring that. And we're going to be doing an activity with that in a couple weeks. So make sure you're actually reading it. We'll do a book check-in, which this is a handout that I give in class. And then we will do a Kahoot review on Monday and Tuesday. This is to help us with kind of remembering what we talked about. We didn't go super far in depth. We just barely started our unit at the beginning of the year, but the end of semester 1. So for those of you that did not have me last semester, you didn't really miss a whole lot because we just didn't get quite far enough into it. But this is going to be a review that we do, so that'll be in class. So here's your review if you miss it. Logos, pathos, and ethos. We talked about those things. We defined them. We saw examples. Logos, pathos, and ethos are forms of persuasion. They're different ways that you can try to make your argument persuasive. So logos is logic and reason. Pathos is using emotions and empathy. And ethos is the credibility of the person that's speaking. Are they an expert? Are they experienced? Do they have education in that area? So think about those things as being tools. If you have an end goal to build something, you have the picture in mind of what you want, but you're using a hammer the way that you'd use a saw, it's not going to get the job done. So you need to figure out, how am I going to use these tools to be the most effective that they can? And then this is a nice little graphic if you kind of get these 3 things confused. I know it's easy over time to forget, so you can take that and use it. And as a reminder, we need to have evidence in our argument through our writing, and we need to see it in other people's argument, because if we don't, it's just an assertion, and an assertion is essentially just an opinion, and it's not strong enough to stand on its own. So we talked about the 5 different types of evidence: facts, numbers, quotes, examples, and analogies, and we will continue to use these, try to analyze them, and then use them in our own writing as we keep going throughout this unit. And then the last thing we covered before we started semester 2 is knowing your audience. I gave you that whole analogy, hypothetical situation of trying to get your grandma to get a smartphone, and then how saying, oh, you could be on TikTok doesn't really convince her at all, because she doesn't care about that. So you have to know, what does your audience care about? What are they passionate about? What interests them? Because if you can kind of lean into those things, it'll make your argument so much more solid and so much more convincing. So we are ending Monday and Tuesday with an activity where you are reading an article called "The Kobe Legacy: Should the NBA Let High School Players Skip College?" Your goal is to read the article individually, and then in class with a partner, if you choose to, which most people have, you are going to identify what the argument is, basically meaning you're answering the question to the title of the article. And then you're going to highlight and mark in your handout. It's going to be a paper handout I give you, the 5 types of evidence. You need to go through each paragraph and see if you can find them. You might not find all 5 because sometimes people choose not to use all 5 in one argument, but you're definitely going to find more than one. So you're going to go through and highlight. I have highlighters in class, and then you will turn that in after you answer these 2 questions on the back. So this part of the video is for B Day, 5th and 6th period, because I will have you on Wednesday. We're going to do a first chapter Friday on Wednesday with, it's not really a first chapter Friday anymore because it's just kind of spreading it out throughout the week. But I Am Number 4 by Pittacus Lore is a sci-fi series. It is one of my favorites. I fell in love with the series when I read it in high school, and it is really good. So if you want to borrow a copy, we have some in the library. So, fifth and sixth period for Wednesday, you are going to take 20 minutes on your own and you are going to explore this website called procon.org. It's got all of these different topics on like arguable, not necessarily always controversial, but different topics that have two sides. And you are going to come up with a list of your top 5 most interesting topics that you found on your handout, and you're going to tell me like what both of those sides are when you list the 5. This is going to help us with kind of preparing for our end goal for this unit, which is to write a paper ourselves. And I'm going to give you the parameters of choosing what topic. So this is going to give you some ideas to get going in your mind. And then independent reading time as well. Okay, so this part is for Thursday and Friday. We're going to start off with some independent reading time, and then you are going to fill this out for me. This is called a character profile because this is going to help with an activity I have planned for us later. You are going to tell me everything that you know, answering these questions, filling in these boxes about your character in the book. Okay, and then this activity is called speed debating, not dating. It works like speed dating, where you have 2 rows, you're facing another person, and you rotate after a certain amount of time. This is going to help us practice with, debating skills, but practicing using all these tools that we've learned about and reviewed about, doing it verbally. So this will be an in-class activity. And then we are going to end with a walk on the track because it's supposed to be really beautiful. So if you have any questions about this week, please let me know.